Today we will talk about the Bazombo, which are a clear case of tribalism and xenophobia in Congo DRC, or Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Bazombos are used as a proof of Congolese hospitality, being presented as a tribe of Angolan living peacefully in Congo for decades. Therefore, because of that, Angola should accept Congolese illegal immigration in reciprocity of this Congolese generosity, or the Congolese government, or population, or culture. But the Bazomba are actually a case of xenophobia and tribalism in Congo DRC. And it's not the first case, but let's go to the facts. You have this map from the Royal Belgium Institute of Colonial Studies that presents clearly a Zombo zone in the southern Bacongo province, now mistakenly called Congo Central. You can see this in this red square. It is between the Ndimbu, Mbata, and Kanu area. So you have a Zombo area in the DRC in 1954. This is before the Angolan Civil War. This is before the Angolan War of Independence. So these people, and this area is actually close to the Zombo area inside Angola, where they are mostly concentrated around Makela do Zombo. Unfortunately, this box is a little bit exaggerated, but the two boxes should be more or less the same size. And if you look at the physical map of the border area between Angola and Congo, you can see that there is no physical obstacle that prevents the Zombo from Angola in the red square to be in the area of Congo that is rightly adjacent to them, near the banks of the Nkisi River, which is actually a very important river in the Bacongo history. So there is nothing that prevents the Zombo from Angola to also be settling this zone in Congo. And I mean this before Congo was actually a country, right? Another argument people will say is that, okay, the Zombos are not from Congo because Makela do Zombo, which is their, let's say, capital or the most important settlement of the Zombo is in Angola. But this would be like saying that there are no Yakas in Angola because Kasongo Lunda, which is also a symbolic capital for the Yakas, is in Congo DRC. You can see highlighted in red on the bottom of the map, Kasongo Lunda, which is like the spiritual capital or traditional capital of the Yaka people, which in Angola we call Kimbelista, in relation to the city of Kimbele, which is the main city in their area. And these Zombos have not been living in that area recently. Actually, there is a map from 1770 by Bone, which locates a town or a settlement called Zombo rightly below Mbanza Mbata. Remember in the previous map we had Mbata, which is the name of a people, and their chief settlement will be called Mbanza Mbata, which you can see in this map right above the square where it is marked Zombo. And the Bata in capital letter here refers to a province of the Kingdom of Congo. This is a map of the Kingdom of Congo. So this Bazombo, so the argument goes that these Bazombos are actually from Angola and they immigrated into Congo during the colonial times, which is probably a lie. Like I showed you before, we already have a map of them being in that area in 1770. We can dispute if the area is inside Angola, outside Angola. But it is unlikely that these Zombos directly across the border from Angola are immigrants. Because in the beginning of the last centuries, you had immigration from Portuguese Angola to Belgian Congo. This is because at the beginning of the century, Angola had more practice of commerce and industry, so the Angolans were hired as helpers, as people from like clerks and stuff like that. And also because in Congo, in Belgian Congo, the labor was free. In Angola, you had a problem of forced labor, so it was much more better for a person to work in Congo than to work in Angola. So you had immigration into Congo, and and you have this Belgian report from 1960, yes, called the problem of le problème du Bacongo, which you can find on this link, which states the location of immigrant groups in the Bacongo province, which included at the time the city of Kinshasa, then called Leopoldville. And you can see there's 114,000 Angolan immigrants in this area of Bacongo at the time. And you can see that they are split between Cataract, which includes the city of Matadi, where you have 32,000 Angolans, and the city of Leopoldville, currently Kinshasa, which is 55,000 people. So these are the biggest concentration points of immigrants. You also have some immigrants in the rest of the province, but it is a much lesser number of 21,000. So the question is, given the opportunity to emigrate to Leopoldville and Matadi, why would Angolans cross the border and just settle across their own area in Angola in the Congo? It doesn't make any sense. So this means that these Zombos that are in Angola, in Congo DRC territory, are probably in their own territory already. And the question is, why are the Zombos the only one that stayed south of the border that did not exist when in the past? Why the other tribes are not subjected to the same treatment? Right? Why? How come it's the only tribe that is in Angola in a straight line? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And plus, if you see this report of the Indigenous Labor Bureau, right? It states that actually the Bacongo population in Angola was around 340,000 people. So having 40,000 Zombos in Angola, which is the lower figure I see in one of these colonial reports, or having 100,000 Zombos in Angola will require a population of Zombos in Angola that is bigger, that is too big for the area that the Zombos settle in Angola. So this is impossible. Just to give you a perspective, the Bandimbu, which correspond to the Ndimbu in this map here, had a population of 81,000 in their home zone inside Congo and 110,000 in Leopoldville. So the Zombo in a much smaller area should have a much bigger population than the Bandimbu, which was recognized as a major tribe and a major component of the Abaco political party. Yes, the phrase Bacongos known as Zombos, right, from the 1950 report Le Problème du Bacongo, shows that the confusion that's confusing Bacongos from Angola with the Bazombo is an old idea. And ironically, this is exactly the accusation made against Angola by people from Congo, saying that the Bacongos are being confused with the Congolese and are being treated as foreigner by the Angolan because of this. And look, this is not just something that is isolated, right? The constitutional law of Congo grants citizenship not to individual people, but actually to tribes. It says that you have a right to citizenship if you belong to a tribe that was inside the territory of the Congo at the moment of independence. And now, the persecution against these Bazombo, not only were they described as foreigners by not only by the Congo, by the reports of the colonial authorities, but also by the other Bacongos. And you have in this report here, right, which is the second part, Problème du Bacongo, part number 2, it is clearly stated that Abaco militants were persecuting Bazombos, saying that they were foreigners. And this is not about nationality, because the same Abaco militants were also persecuting Bayacas of the Congo, calling also them foreigners. So this was a tribal prejudice, not a national prejudice. And the political exclusion of people based on their tribes has also happened legally after in the Congo. For example, when Mobutu excluded the Tutsi and the Hutus of the Kivu province of their nationalities, alienating them and creating the political problem that led to the current conflict in the east of the country. So, as a conclusion, the Bazombos, some Bazombos are Congolese, some Bazombos are Angolan. But the Bazombos have been victim of persecution in Congo since at least the 1958-59 before independence.